Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing safe. In my previous episode, I've talked about what are the 7 principles of Prince 2. And today's, I'm coming up with another interesting one. Let's understand what are the 7 themes of Prince 2. Let's discuss. The themes element of Prince 2, ideally what happens, it identifies 7 aspects of project management which you need to follow throughout the life of your project. Like any of a theme of work literature, they're all present at all the times when they're not highly visible, right? These 7 themes, ideally you call it like 7 principles which I've already covered in my previous videos, and 7 processes also I've already talked about, right? So it's like understand why, whom, how much, all those aspects. How do we going to take up asking certain business questions, right? So the 7 prince themes, for me, let me make it simplify for you to understand. It has a 3 categories. One of the category, fall under some of the themes, which is mainly on the standards and tolerance of those 6 variables, which I also call it as a performance targets, right? So just to make it clear, if there is an exception occurred, how do we evaluate? How do we continue the project, should go forward, and all those things. So one of the first category out of these 7 themes is mainly focused on business case, quality, and plans. The second category is mainly meant for how do we measure, monitor, and control the complete lifespan of your project. It's mainly talks about quality, risk, and what is the progress. The third category is mainly meant for your roles and responsibilities, right? So I will try my level best to ensure that you will understand these 7 themes are integrated, and meaning that they are carried out continuously throughout the project and interact with one another. And understand one thing, all 7 themes must be used at all times, but you can tailor it according to your environment or line of business, just to understand how important during the course of your projects. It depends on your size or complexity and risk and other aspects. So let's understand what are those 7 themes. The first one is business case theme. I think let's spend some more time to understand the purpose of this theme is to take an idea for your project. That means make a case for its benefits to your company and develop certain metrics. How do we measure the benefit, which ideally you know it as ROI, return on investment. If the benefit is sufficient, the project will be started up. And you already know there are certain principles of Prince 2. If any time before or during the project's lifetime, if the project's business case becomes too weak to deliver the ROI, which is defined by your stakeholder or a project board, I think it must either change or a stop, isn't it? Do you agree with me? The business case, for me, mainly it answers the business question of why. Why should, as a company or organization, devote time, money, other resources to this project? Let's spend some more interesting aspects of what is this business case theme all about. It talks about what is the reasons the project is necessary, and what are the options that we are talking, and we are going to do, and what is the reason for doing this project. Are we doing nothing? Are we doing something minimum? Are we doing really something great about it? Understand one thing, a project will only go forward if you really know the business and as well as the benefits of what the business unit is looking out for. It's all about potential benefits of the project and what are the different non-benefits of the project, the time scale that we are talking about project, the associated estimated costs also. How do we properly identify the ROI? What are the different risks which are involved, and how do we summarize? right? So these are all something has to be properly covered and documented in your business case, which is like a formal document which has to be thoroughly reviewed and verified by your project board. They should ensure that all the key control points, whatever I just spoke about, has to be understood very well by every project team members, what has been given in your business case. Also, there is something called outputs, outcomes, and benefits, right? Because the project output is nothing but it's a kind of the what is the output the project will produce. It may be tangible or intangible. That's the different aspects. Every product which results in one or more outcomes, right? It can be a project's outcome always results in a change, because Prince2, as I told you, a project is always a change. The other aspect of this business case theme is benefits, right? So how do we measure these improvements or an advantage of any results of your project? So typically what happens, the ROI is always considered when you wanted to measure the benefits. When I say benefits, means like it's a responsibility of your stakeholders, and how do we evaluate these ROI benefits, which has to be help your company to understand how do we bring the value to the table. And you can also understand there is one more aspect called benefits review plan, which is ideally has to be done by every stage of project, just to understand how this is getting add up when you start the project itself, right? And this is why Prince2 requires this benefit review plan, which is based on your business case document, and it talks about the time and scope of different series of events which will get you benefit and every stage of your project. And you also understand who is responsible for conducting those reviews and what is their action plan. Everything will be documented in that. So if you are a project manager, you need to when the project initially kicks off, I think you need to have this plan, benefits review plan should be ready, and you submit to your project board and get it approved. And then you update the plan at the end of every stage, ensure that you're on top of the situation on the ground. So if the real world benefits don't match the plan, I think you need to still go and justify your business case and understand how do we bring more value or benefits towards this theme. So it's all about business case theme. Two, it's about organization theme. So far I covered about business case. Let's understand what is this organization theme. I think by the name itself, you might have guessed it out, right? Because it's mostly just to define what is the roles and responsibility of the people who wants to make up your project management team. When I say the organization, it mainly talks about the business question of who. Yes, who will be responsible for each area of the project, and how do we make sure that it's completed according to the requirements of your business case. Do you agree? So the Prince2 principles, whatever which has been already there, which is mainly meant for to understand clearly roles and responsibilities. And this theme mainly target about three stakeholder groups: business, user, and supplier. I think you should refer my previous videos which I have already spoke about these aspects. So the organization theme, which has clearly defined certain responsibilities for direction, management, and delivery of the project, and how do we validate each accountability in every area. Because you're talking about project roles which has to be reviewed at a regular intervals and understand whether those are still effective or not. And this organization theme will help you to coming up with more effective communication or collaboration between your stakeholders and the rest of the team. So there are something called project management team. As I just mentioned, that they are just meant to manage the complete product. maybe at your top you will have a project board, and you will have a project manager at the middle, and your team manager at the bottom level, right? So any levels that exist below the team member, you consider as the team or a specialist or whatever, right? And the other one is project board and stakeholders interests. So as I mentioned, at the top level you will have a project management team, and the project board is the one like guiding direction for your complete project. So they steers the overall concept and direction of the project, right? Because you already have certain responsibility for your project board. You need to understand who are the people who should be part of that project board, right? Because they are accountability for a success or a failure of the project, and they are the one who can set a cohesive direction for your project, and through your project manager, just to understand who has to run, and whether the assurance of the project is completely monitored or not, and the authority in terms of any change request or being followed or not. How about the funding and resources, just to make sure that you need to complete the project. So these are all aspects will be under that board, right? So they need to have at least one representative from business, user and suppliers, right? Because the business, their job is just to understand the business case is well thoroughly prepared, and whether it is providing a value add for in terms of money or not for the company, right? So that is the business looks after. The user is the one who is mainly meant for what is the outputs as they are looking, the feedback and all those aspects will be given by user. When it comes to the suppliers, they are the one who has a specialist in terms of skills and resources for just to want to produce certain products, right? So they may be internal or external to your company. And another responsibility of this project board is as I just mentioned about assurance, right? What I mean by it has to monitor all areas of the project separately from monitoring activities which you as a project manager carrying out. Because the project the board team, they report all its monitoring of how does that ownership happens, how does the delegation happens, and how do we keep independent of a project manager has to be thoroughly monitored. All those things will be done by the project board. Now there is another thing called project manager. Yes, the day by day project management duties, all those things will be done by project manager. So he has to get the proper directions from the project board and see how he can take a decision, because he is the one who is having a great responsibility just to understand how do we drive this project, right? So this is all about project manager. He is mainly meant for prepare, review, update all the communication updates sent back to your project management board, and see what is the risk has been properly addressed or not, have we got proper feedback from the users or not. So it's a very important role as a project manager, right? Because you need to also do certain administrative tasks, maybe project management tools, or sometimes you need to collect the data, you need to prepare reports. So all those things has to be properly done by the project manager. The last category is the team manager. So team manager is something like he wants to oversee certain product, under direction of project manager, because he is on the bottom category, right? Because project manager will be the middle one, and team manager will be on the last one, right? So any tasks which you want to assign to the team manager will be called as a work packages, which will be done by your project manager. And every deliverable has to be clearly defined for each of those packages, and what is associated requirements also has to be clearly documented. And this guy team manager mainly meant for reporting each of those areas and understand what feedback he can give back to the project manager, right? So that's the job of team manager, project manager and project board. So I hope you understand what are the three levels of your project management team, and what are the three stakeholder interests on the project board, And I also just spoke about project assurance process and what is the roles and responsibility of project manager and as well as team manager. And 3, which is a quality theme. This quality theme mainly talks about the quality standards for as a product what is being developed and ensure that which is live up to those quality standards set by your internal teams. And this mainly talks about answering your business question of what. So what's the product's purpose, what do customers expect, and what measurement criteria that we are using to make sure that we are meeting all the expectations and the product is fit for its purpose. So Prince2 method mainly talks about these quality standards continuously throughout your development process. Understand very important thing, because they wanted to identify every phase of the product life cycle. This criteria has to be very well validated in terms of are they following proper quality standards throughout from beginning to end of the project, right? And there are different I think some of the terminologies maybe you should have a familiar with when we're talking about quality theme. Quality is nothing but it has its own set of features just to ensure whether you satisfy or you meet certain needs or not. That is what quality about. The scope is mainly meant for what is the list of certain descriptions which you already mentioned as part of your requirements. That is fall under scope. There is also something called quality management system, which is as I just mentioned, it's about standards, process, and governance. All those things will be part of that. And there is something called quality planning. Okay, for any project you will have a planning. The similar way, when it comes to the quality theme, it's a part of how do we define certain aspects for quality of a project and what products we are delivering, those descriptions, validations. There's a lot of things fall under planning. And once the quality planning properly validated, then it will be obviously another stage called quality control. Just to understand, you monitor the operations and activities of the people who are part of that project, all those things, right? So it's like same like a risk register we have, right? Similar way we have a quality register. The last aspect of certain things under quality theme or assurance, quality assurance. So quality assurance is it just another kind of additional responsibility of certain processes part of the quality, just to ensure that you guys are following the quality assurance what has been defined as per the Prince2, right? So in the quality planning, as I just mentioned, this is the one mainly the project board is interested about, because it has to have certain components. For example, your customer quality expectations, your acceptance criteria, what is the product description, what is the strategy that we are talking about quality. All those will be fall under this quality initial planning stages, right? So I think that is very important. And the quality control, which has its own methods and standards to review the how do we measure the quality, those are all part of your quality control. When it comes to the quality review, it's a different technique altogether. You need to first assess what is the quality criteria and whether prepare a baseline, then you confirm whether the product is up to the standards. Then you involve certain people to measure the quality, and there's a different sets of section of contents where we need to really review about, right? So this is just overall thoughts on what is the quality theme which is fall under Prince2, and how does this behaves as a theme which will help the projects to move forward, right? So it's about quality scope, and what is the quality management system, how does the quality planning works, quality control and assurance, right? I hope you get the sense of what is this quality theme is all about under Prince2. The fourth one is plans theme. I think this required little more attention, because this plans theme mainly meant for what is the communication and what sort of control we should do during the complete project, because you need to understand there is certain approved plans to understand how every project or a product should be delivered, all those things, right? So there are three levels of planning: project plan, stage plan, and teams plan. So mainly talks about where, how much, when. All these questions will be addressed in this plans theme. So in the Prince2, the planning very comprehensively very important, because that is what you're going to set as different project has to be delivered on time, right? Because it's very important, right? Let's understand what are those three types of the plans. As I just mentioned, it's a project, stage, and team. What is project plan? It's mainly meant for you list out all the major products for the project, what activities and resources you need to produce them, right? It's all about certain data, just to understand how do we project a plan should be created when you initially create the project, right? It's a part of your business case, but I'm just reiterating that. And also it will have its own timelines, costs, what are the certain control points through which you can check it out. All those things will be covered under project plan, and it will be written by a project manager, and he will consult with users, stakeholders, all those people. The second is stage plan. Stage plan is nothing but it's I would say that it's like another part of a plan, but it will ensure that what has to be written in this stage plan, what is the guidance that you are looking for, and how do we ensure that this is dependent on the previous plan stage. All those will be talked about under this one. So the stage plan mainly just to have a complete detailed planning to be done. How do we remove certain waste of efforts. All those information has to be thoroughly covered under this. The last one is teams plan. Teams plan, obviously the name itself is talks about the resources part, right? So in terms of size and nature or scope of the project, you need to have a proper team, whether it can be internal or external or vendor or suppliers. All those people has to be part of your work packages, right? So this is a three different category of those plans. So ideally what happens if you talk about this planning theme, and ideally there are 4 steps I think you should have be clear on when you're talking about this theme. One, you have to write the project a description. That means when you're starting up a project, I think you need to outline what is the business case. Do you have a properly clearly a clarity on what is the project brief about, right? So all those things will be has to be written by a project manager, and has to be approved and reviewed by your teams. Second, it's all about product breakdown structure, right? So during the initiating of your project, right? So you need to have a project plan which has to divide into certain products. So each product will have its own lower level products, and that's how you break down the structure. So every task will be undertaken by certain team members, and that's how you do brainstorming sessions, and understand how do we come up with end-to-end plan. The third one is you have to write the product descriptions. So as soon as you're clearly broken and identified what aspects or tasks has to be done, so everything has to be written, and description has to be available within the every package. Then the last step will be you have to create a flow diagrams. So what sequence of products needs to be developed, and what is the flow diagram, and what activities has to be carried out, what is the dependencies, whether it is an inside or outside project, everything has to be documented in that flow diagram, right? So I hope you understand what is the different purpose of this plans theme, what are the 3 levels of planning, and what are those 4 steps you need to consider when you're doing for planning. Fifth one, a risk theme. Risk theme mainly meant for how do we identify, assess, and control some of the uncertainty within the project, just to understand how do we improve its ability to succeed as a project. So that's the one of the goal when we talk about risk theme. But let me tell you one thing, the Prince2 method, right? So it has its own way of defining. Every project has a change, and every change always involves certain risks because of the unknowns, right? So it's mainly talks about what if. That is the kind of business question it answers. Let's say, what if a supplier can't deliver materials on time? What if the product doesn't perform as expected? What if the price of resources suddenly goes up, right? So these are all certain questions that this theme will answer about. How do you assume that this Prince2 approaches the risk? Let me share my views on this, because the definition of a risk is something called maybe let's say you have one or more uncertain events. If you don't even know that will affect the complete project if they really occur, right? So that's what about risk. So it's a combination of the probability whether certain a threat or opportunity will occur, and what is the impact on the project's deliverables. So for me, risk management mainly has its own processes just to how do we identify and assess the risks, right? So it has 3 parts for me, right? So every risk management, I mean, you might have already known this, but let me reiterate that. So every risk management has 3 parts: identifying, assessing, and controlling. So when I say identify, what are the potential risks you need to point out and document? Assessment is nothing but how do we understand the possibility of the risk which actually occurring, and how do we evaluate that, and how do we rank it up, and what is the impact? All those aspects will be under assessment. When it comes to the control part, control is mainly meant for what is the response, how do we act for every risk, and who is the owner which is working on that risk item, right? So it's all about risk appetite. If you talk about as an organization point of view, just to understand how do we evaluate the attitude towards the risk within your company's culture, right? So this is one aspect of risk management. The other thing called risk register, right? So it's again very much needed in every company, just to document each threat and opportunity which is related to your project, because it's managed by your project manager and each risk in that register documented as a separate item, and which will have its own data about the risk, right? Maybe when was the risk added, by whom it was added, what is the category, what description, what is the probability, impact. There's a lot of areas where you need to be documented under this risk register. When you talk about risk management strategy, I think there are certain steps. I think most of the people which are good at risk as a team members, right? So I think they should have understand this. So these 5 steps are known to everyone. I mean, when you're talking about risk management as a separate team: identifying, assessing, planning, implement, and communicating, right? So when I say identify, means you understand what is the objective of the projects which are at risk, right? What is the context that I'm talking about here, and what is the warning indicators that I'm getting here, right? And how do we understand what is the resolved versus not resolved issues. So all those things will be part of that. When it comes to the assessment is mainly meant for what is the probability of that risk is occurring, and what impact which is going to have it in my project, and what is the risk proximity, so that how soon I can take an action on that. The third one is a planning. Planning is mainly meant for just in advance. You wanted to minimize certain risks by taking better opportunities, right? So how do we avoid and how do we have a fallback options? All those things will be part of your plan stage. When it comes to implement stage, this is mainly meant for what is the response that we are carrying out if a risk occurs. What is the roles and responsibility of this implementation stage, right? So you will have a risk owner and who is the risk actionee, right? This is a part of implement stages. The last one is communication. So communication is mainly meant for what is the potential of and actual risks, whether have we got properly communicated both to my internal and external stakeholders, and have we properly documented in all those aspects. Everything will be part of this communication stage, right? So every risk also has its own budget, because a portion of funds needs to be allocated when there is a risk happens, and what is the expense to implement certain risk responses. I think certain financial analysis has to be done, just to understand what is the amount of the risk budget, right? I think this also should be thoroughly spent, and unless there is a proper risk strategies in place. I hope you understand what is the purpose of this risk theme and what is the different purpose of the risk register I spoke about. I spoke about risk management strategy. I also spoke about what is the 5 steps of that risk management procedures. Sixth one, the change theme. The purpose of the change theme is mainly for how do we control of issues and change. I think in Prince2, predominantly what they will talk about here in terms of the basic purpose is to identify, assess and control any potential changes to the baselines within your project, which may be a planning or it can be a new product or a service. So it mainly answers to the question of what is the impact. How will a potential issue affect the existing plan for the project? Or how will an approved change affect the products which has already been completed? Right? So the change theme doesn't attempt to prevent any changes during the course of the project. Rather, what it does is it makes sure no change is allowed to take place until which has to be approved by maybe whoever is the designated authorities, right? How Prince2 approaches any change. Understand one thing, okay? In Prince2, any sort of activity which is from the baseline of any project or a product, it has to be a change. So all changes along with the issues also may result sometimes changes, isn't it? Because you have defined certain goals and you wanted to fulfill certain business justifications. So it happens, that's how the change happens in Prince2. But change control, there is another aspect in the Prince2. It has 2 things. One, it talks about issue and change control, and second is it talks about a configuration management. When I say issue and change control, mainly it talks about all the issues, changes which is there in the projects agreed as per the baselines. For example, baseline project items may be the 6 variables which I spoke in the previous videos. Roles and responsibilities, quality, planning, risk, all those things will be part of this. And configuration management, which is mainly for what are the different activity controls every project should be needed in terms of production or a delivery or a deployment, just to ensure that you are meeting customer expectations, right? So when I say configuration management, every configuration management has its own configuration items. When I say configuration items, I think it should be what is the component of a product and what is the product, what is that release that we are talking. All those things will be under configuration items. Typically, there are 3 types of issues. Typically, they talk about in Prince2. One, it's for request for change. The other one is problem or a concern, and the last one is of specifications. right? When I say request for a change, that means you are going to propose an alternation to the existing, baseline, right? When I say problem, any other issue that you as a project manager has to either solve or it needs to escalate your project board. The off specification is mainly meant for what is some of the missing part, or some of the products, or maybe it's not as per the specifications. All will be under off specifications. So how do we implement or establish these project controls, right? So when I say project controls, in the sense, it has to be for issues, changes, and configuration management, right? So you need to have configuration management strategy, configuration items, and as well as how do we keep up the daily log, how do we maintain the issue register, how do we publish the issue reports. So these are certain project controls you need to be very much thoroughly clear when we're talking about change themes. Okay, and these aspects, whatever I just spoke about in terms of configuration management strategy, it is mainly for how do we keep track of baseline, what is the impact of some of the configuration items within the project. All those things will be clearly mentioned in the strategy. When it comes to configuration items, as I mentioned just now, it's all about what is the status of that configuration item, what is the version, all those important relationships, everything you will mention in the configuration items, right? A daily log is mainly meant for what is the problems or concerns you as a project manager will handle informally, so that you will keep track of them and you escalate when there is a need for project board to intervene, right? So this is just a standard daily log. When you talk about issue register and issue report, issue register mainly meant for all the issues you are managing by day in day out as a project manager. You monitor those under issue register. Issue report, you make them as a consolidated report. What is the impact and how do we assess, what are the recommendations, all those things I think you need to share with your project board. So this is about a change management. And when it comes to it has its own aspect. For example, you need to have a proper change control procedure in place, right? So you need to capture the proper change management and examine the process of change management, and how do we propose different recommendations, how do we handle this change management. And then once you propose and all, then you need to take a decide what steps has to be should be implemented in place, all those corrective actions. So everything will fall under this change management theme. So I hope you get the sense of what is the purpose of this change theme and what are the different types of issues of change management, and how do we talk about some of the project controls of change management, and what are the different activities which happens in the change management. The last one is progress theme. I think so far you understood what are all the different themes, right? So these are all 7 themes. This progress theme mainly meant for how do we compare our project plan, what has been defined versus what has been actually achieved, as simple as that. When I say progress, it's all about how do we forecast certain project goals, and how do we keep on evaluating on a daily basis, and what is the visibility from the stakeholder point of view, and how do we make sure that we are controlling the deviations, ensure the project stays within its tolerances, right? So it's mainly answers business questions of where are we now, or where are we going, or should we carry on, right? So the focus for mainly this progress theme within Prince2, they talk about monitoring and control of the end-to-end project assessment and what is the decisions that we need to carry it out, right? So there are different approaches when we talk about this theme. Either you can delegate proper aspects within the project, or you divide the project into different stages. You review and authorize each stage separately, or maybe you can progress reports, whether it can be time based or an event based. It depends on how do you wants to manage the progress theme as a project manager. Yes, there are different exceptions and tolerances, but you need to identify when there is an exception, how it's going to impact the project, and what is the deviation which is going to impact, how do we escalate if there is an issue to the next level of management. All those things I think which I've already spoke in the previous videos, but it's just a reiterating for you to understand, right? So when I say delegation of authority means you need to understand different what I wanted to address here is management in Prince2, right? So either one is a program management, project board, and project manager, and team manager, which I already spoke in the previous video, right? I think these 4 levels of management you need to be very clear when we're talking about delegation, right? So I think if you haven't got what is these 4 elements of a management, I think you please go and watch the previous video. I have clearly explained the different roles of these 4 levels of management in Prince2, right? And the other aspect is within the every stage you need to review the progress, right? And you need to understand how do we keep documenting the lessons learned, right? I think you need to have a daily log or different aspects. How do we record those issues or all those things? As a project manager you need to review, right? So then keep a up to date of all the project line items, and see how do we report that status back to the maybe senior management or your project board, right? So the lessons learned is mainly for how do we, it's a 2 things. One is a lessons log and lessons report. So you just need to place a record to all the lessons what has been you identified or discovered during the course of a project, and all those lessons learned related documentation you need to be kept under this section, right? That is very, very important. So going forward for any future project, it will help you to give a good baseline to ensure not to repeat such mistakes, right? So this is the overall progress theme, and I hope you get the sense of what is the progress theme, what are the different levels of management which has, how do we handle certain aspects of progress theme related issues, right? So this is the last theme within the Prince2 methodology. Just to conclude my final thoughts on these 7 themes. See, understand one thing. These themes will help you to provide certain insight on how you as a project manager should understand how the project should be managed, right? And these are some of the like knowledge areas or principles you can put in a practice. So they will definitely help you to understand when you have them in a place beginning of the project, and then monitor throughout the project, right? So every project has to be kept on track, constantly addressing these themes, either business case, organization, quality, plan, risk, change, or progress, right? So any of these themes needs to be well thoroughly followed in every project. I hope this helps. So please like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for your time. Thanks for listening, and thank you.